This man buys plane tickets every day, but never gets on a plane. He just sits in the airport terminal and watches TV. He was actually scared. But one day, when a sports channel host suddenly fainted live on air, and as soon as the camera switched to the game, everyone on the field collapsed. That's when the man realized that he couldn't waste any more time. He had to escape from there immediately. Without a moment's hesitation, he pushed a security guard who fell down. He snatched his rifle and ran towards the departure gate like a madman. People around him started shouting at him, thinking he was a terrorist. At the same time, the flight attendant began to feel that something was wrong outside. He quickly tried to close the cabin door, but it was too late. The passengers were terrified to see the armed man. The man pointed his gun at the flight attendant and said, "Close the door right now or I'll shoot." Forced to comply, the flight attendant closed the door. Now the man ran towards the cockpit. He was scared, but tried to stay strong. He tried to explain to the captain that if the plane wasn't flown before sunset, everyone would die. But the captain didn't understand anything. At that moment, an air marshal began knocking on the door, diverting the man's attention. The captain took advantage of the opportunity and tried to grab his pistol, but the pistol went off and the bullet hit the captain's hand. The captain couldn't fly the plane with just one hand, and the co-pilot was nowhere to be found. In a desperate situation, the man returned to the cabin and shouted, "Can anyone fly a plane?" A woman named Kelly replied, "I can fly a helicopter." With her help, the man started to fly the plane. Once the plane was airborne, Kelly told the captain to fly west, towards where the sun sets. After the flight was stable, the captain asked, "Why? What does death when the sun sets mean?" The man, named Raymond, said, "I'm a major in the NATO forces. I accidentally overheard a secret meeting that said the sun has mutated. Now its rays can burn anything alive, even if we hide inside buildings. The players collapsing on TV were proof. We must fly in darkness and avoid the sun's rays, otherwise our death is certain." But the captain and everyone else didn't believe the major's words. They thought he was crazy. At the same time, the passengers began to feel that something was wrong. Everyone was restless. To avoid chaos, the major pointed his pistol and asked everyone to be quiet. But a man secretly snatched the pistol. He pointed it at the flight attendant and said, "Lock this madman in the bathroom." The major said, "I'm trying to save you all." But the man only saw him as a terrorist. Forced to do so, the flight attendant locked the major in the bathroom. When the situation began to calm down, the captain planned an emergency landing at the nearest airport, which was in Iceland. But when the plane arrived there, everyone was shocked to see the view below. The ground was burning. People were scrambling for planes like a scene from hell. At that moment, the captain and Kelly realized that the major was telling the truth. The sun had indeed mutated. The only way to stay alive was to keep flying west. However, Kelly then said with fear that this plane only had 50 miles of fuel left.